Good evening, viewers. My name is Adeyanju Adekunle, and you are watching Future ABC Media TV. Tonight, we are going to be discussing uh, some of the issues bothering our nation. And beside me tonight, I have a guest. I'm sure a lot of people will be wondering who I brought with me tonight. She is my partner, and she's the mother of my children. So, tonight, we are going to be discussing together the state of our nation, what are the issues that are bothering us, and how we could solve some of the problem, and our own perspective, likewise my own perspective, on some of the issues bothering us. So it's going to be an easy uh, video tonight. I'm going to be asking some questions. She'll give her verdict, her perspective, the way she see it, and I will also give mine too. The questions I've laid down are just 10 questions. They're not that much. So I want her to introduce herself too, perhaps. So, madam, introduce.
Thank you for having me. My name is Kemi Adeyanju.
Okay. So, we have so many issues bothering us. Let me just go straight to the point. We have so many issues bothering us. And like we have always discussed here on a daily basis, I want to probably ask you some of the questions relating to issues that are affecting Nigeria, whether positively or negatively. And I want you to share your perspective about what you think of these issues. And I will also share my own perspective. It's just going to be a regular TV interview, sort of, whereby I'll be throwing the questions to her and I will be answering the question as well. My first question goes to us. Judging by the state of the nation, with the present state of the nation, Boko Haram here, terrorism there, people kidnapping uh, citizens of the country, extorting them, uh, and the current state of our nation relating to um, all the bad news. I could remember that since 2015, since this current administration have been sworn in on May 29, 2015. I hardly could probably remember there's any day that goes by in Nigeria that we don't hear bad news from TV. Uh, since that time till now, I'm yet to probably see any good news that comes, and it's obvious and glaring to everybody. So, judging by the state of the nation, do you see any hope for Nigerians? So, that's the first question. Do you see any
Mm,
hope for Nigerians?
for Nigerians,
Nigerians, yeah, the citizen of the country.
well, um, for me, I think there's still hope for Nigerians. I see hope for Nigerians because I can't just rule it out, as in like rule whole house that maybe like we don't have hope again. But I still see hope for Nigerians if um we have good leaders in this country. There
Okay.
is still hope for us if we have good leaders. That
Okay.
is my
Your verdict on the
my opinion.
your opinion.
Yes.
All right. In my own opinion, I'll be direct. I see things happening around the country on a daily basis, and to be honest, even if I'm going to say I see any hope, it seems kind of opaque, not clear enough. Perhaps I'm a myopic person, but it seems opaque. Judging by the, you see, I could judge any bad leaders. I could nail any bad leaders. But my main focus is about the followers, which are the one I'm asking if there is hope for. We have a lot of followers that have lost their way. People who don't even know what is right or wrong anymore. People who hardly do anything good. And when it comes to the people who hate and abet all these menace that we find around us, I think it will be the same citizens that we are asking if there is hope for. So if things continue the way it is right now, I think what we have right now will be the least of our problem. The problem will keep piling up, mounting on each other, and I forbid that I predict the extinction of the country called Nigeria and its people. That will remind me of the Israelites in the Bible when they were dispersed into different countries until perhaps they came back and retraced back their step. But I I want to hope that perhaps, like you said, if there will be any hope, that will be the kind of hope that we might probably get from any leaders. Mm. But for now, from the way things are going and what we see on a daily basis in our society, I doubt if there's any hope. Though that's my own opinion, like as well. But I'm not saying that I'm right. I just probably give my opinion. So the second question goes to us: youth are supposed to be tomorrow's leaders. But recently, almost all the young guys are into internet fishing or scamming or whatever they call it these days, while their female counterparts have chosen modern prostitutions, also known as Ogusho, and as a means to survive, like they often give reasons for whatever they do. So, what do you think is the cause for all this? And do you think there can be there can ever be any revival for these youths? So that's the question.
Hmm.
Young guys doing yahoo yahoo,
Hmm. Young
while the
guys,
females
why the
are
females are into,
not all
not
though,
all the females are
not
into
all the guys
prostitution
either.
anyway. There are some, yes, there are some youth, some guys that are doing legitimate job, that are earning their income legitimately, and some ladies as well doing legitimate job. But let's say because of the way the country is, because of what we are facing in the country, so I think that is why some people are into illegal things. So because there is no job, although that can be we shouldn't give that as a reason to do illegal things, maybe to um engage in internet fraud, or for female to engage in prostitution. But because of the way the country is, if we have um um something, if the youth have something to do, and I won't say the youth of this country don't have anything on their head, maybe they are not brilliant. The youth of this country, of Nigeria, are smart and they are brilliant. If there is something to do, if there is job, there is the government, maybe there is more investment in education, I think this internet fraud and prostitution will reduce. And if there is a law on ground, you know that if you are in any form of maybe fraud, definitely you will be arrested and prosecuted. So definitely you won't want to go into anything like fraud. If there is a law and people stand by the law, then another thing is let me say from the parents, because when we talk of youth, youth are maybe, I won't say youth is from, like, let me just say um from home. We parents, we guide these youth, we need to guide them. The parents need to guide them, tell them what to do, and then let me just say, like, telling them the um effects of going into fraud, explaining everything to them. So we need to, like, engage them in discussion about this.
Okay, if that is your verdict, you want from your point, if I could if I could point them out for you, I light them out for you, you believe that youth could be the kind of orientation that they receive from their parents
Yes.
could affect their judgments
Yes.
when it comes to choosing whatever field or whatever thing they want to do with their life. In my
That's
own view, in my own opinion, uh, I quite, I remember in those days, maybe like say 10, 15 years ago, when all this internet phishing and scamming was kind of very rampant, when it was still, at the early stage, I used to advocate against it, to be honest. And most of the time, they see me call youth and tell them what they could have done different and stuff like that. But 15 years down the lane now, you read all sort of news online, all sort of news. How some people stole 80 billion from the national treasury, how 460 something billion got missing in Niger Delta and stuff like that. And when you see the way our government embezzle money and stole from us, it's like stealing away their future, stealing away our future. Money that would have been used to um, fix the road, money that would have been used to equip the health care centers, and money that could have been pumped into education in order to probably make our youth very productive. Then when you see a politician, you know,
amazing.
embezzle money just like it's their national right, the moment I begin to probably cite that and the moment news that spill out on a daily basis covers such, I stop advocating against anybody who is internet fraud. But that still doesn't mean that I support it. Because actually, ever since they've been doing internet fraud, I've never seen anything good that came out from it. Apart from the fact that they buy cars that their forefathers or their generation never could have afford. And then apart from the fact that uh, they all they do is just to wine and dine and just marry.
Go to clubs, spend money.
The whole thing is it's all about just going to clubs, spend money, you know, pick up their female counterpart that are into Olosho like hardly if I look around my area now, there's hardly any guy, any young guy between the age of maybe 22 to like 17, down to 17, that that I can be proud of. None. All of them are into fraudster. It's not like a profession, newly introduced profession of the day. Even some of them are still in secondary school. SS1, SS2, SS3. They already gotten themselves a mobile phone, maybe an iPhone. Some are using BlackBerry, some uses Android, and they are also into scamming people. Some they have given it all sort of name, Yahoo, Yahoo Plus, Yahoo Multiplication, or whatever they call it. But for the girls, I don't know. You know, uh, I just don't know what the generation has done. So I don't. I could not pinpoint what caused it, but I just discovered that that's where we find ourselves these days, whereby people are just into all sort of scamming. Girls are into prostitution, and I remember when we were growing up. Education is the order of the day. People compete with each other. Uh, but these days, as at then, we were thinking that the next generation are going to be greater,
Greater,
mm,
yes.
that they will be able to explore more. They will not just be regurgitators like us. They are going to be productive in nature, but it is what it is. And the moment the head of the house begin to smoke and drink, when you see the children or whatever start to steal and indulge themselves into all sort of negative vices, you don't need to look too far. You know where the problem came from. When our politicians had no plan for, you see, when we talk about politics, that's going to be topic for another day anyway. They have failed woefully, and even if we want to blame these guys who are into internet fishing and scamming, and the girls who have chosen to sell their body as a means to survive, when we look at what the politicians are stealing away from them, the opportunities that they could have that was stolen away from them, I think we could pinpoint that as a place where this whole thing were bet. Politicians are the one who encouraged it. Um, because if you're giving your child all that is needed and the child still chose the wrong way, then you have to look at the child and look at the problem um, that the child might have had. But in this case, a lot of people, activists are trenchantly, you know, advocating against it. And we see few people, few parents who are viciously also, uh, you know, saying things just to probably give us a refined society. But most of the parents now even encouraged it.
At all.
Recently, you see some parents says that uh, they are even happy that their sons or their daughter are into Yahoo and they could get themselves right, get themselves an apartment or whatever. So I don't think, uh, you know, the cost is far, far fetched. It's just something we see on a daily basis. And the fathers of all these Yahoo guys are our government. Governors are stealing stupendiously. The presidency is just nothing to write home about. The ministers are whatever they are, and then the senators, those ones. We even have senators who even park a car worth almost $2.1 million in front of his parlor, in his sitting room as a souvenir. It's like a plaque that he just wake up to gallivant to watch on a
So
daily basis just to
what do
feel
you
so important.
mm,
And then when you see senators who have spent all our constituency money in order to enrich themselves, and not just to enrich, they have stupidly lavish it on things that even you begin to question their sanity at a point in time, then you will know where this problem is. So not to probably delve much into it, because each of the questions that I have here can even become a whole topic on its own. So I just want us to quickly brush on them and then move to another, so as not to waste too much of time on each question. Now the third question is: do you follow any celebrities? If yes, which celebrities or celebrities do you follow and why? That's the third question.
wow.
Do you follow any celebrities? Do you like any celebrity? Are you a fan or supporter of any celebrity or celebrities? If you follow
Do you mean are you talking about Nigerian celebrities or
any
any
celebrity in the world, or maybe Nigeria, because we live in Nigeria. So
let me if
let's
I
let's cut it down to Nigeria.
follow some celebrities anyway. I'm a fan of
Which
some
are
celebrities.
which are the
And
celebrities you follow?
well, I'm a fan of Daddy Freeze.
Okay,
Um I'm a fan of Dele Farotimi.
okay,
So then that is Daddy Freeze on religion and what he does. Then Dele Farotimi and a brilliant, intelligent man. So I follow Dele Farotimi as well. Then now we go to like entertainment, movie industry. I'm a fan of Odunlade Adekola. Um,
say Ronaldo of Nigeria.
that's our still Ronaldo anyway. A talented guy, man. Then Toyin Aimaku, and the rest. Some there's I can't just mention all, but I love the way they act. I love what they do. So following them is like appreciating them. So I appreciate what they do. Mercy Johnson. So I'm a fan of Mercy Johnson as well. So I like what they know how to do best.
All right. In my own view, unfortunately, I don't follow anybody.
Hmm.
I'm a hard nut to crack.
Hmm.
I don't. really appreciate the fact that people have mentors they do not know. I watch a lot of movies. In fact, most of these people that she claimed that she's following, like the phrase delivery team, I was the one who introduced them to her. It's not as if she knew them from anywhere before. But I watch a lot of programs. I watch a lot of their interviews. I watch when Daddy Free started his religion campaign, which has been trending online for so many years. It's just a lot of people didn't get the information in Nigeria. I've watched so many clips since 2008, 9, even before then, that have been pre-recorded about people, how why people should stop paying tithes. It's just that Daddy Freeze happens to be someone who is into radio broadcasting, and the fact that he was the first person who had the gut to come out in Nigeria. And I'm sure a lot of people have been championing that cause before, even before that face. But because he had more voice, people listen to him. I watch a lot of his program, especially all these interviews that he has conducted recently.
Which one
If
is
I'm to
the one?
follow someone, I
Mm.
think that should be Daily Farotimi, that I might even say I could follow. One thing does it for me. If you are not brilliant, there's no way we can. Daily Farotimi happens to be one of the most brilliant men I know on earth today. But I still cannot say I follow. I only can say that I watch most of his interview, most of his analysis, narratives and stuff, and I learn from them, to be honest. But to sit down here and to say I have one celebrity that I follow, I watch a lot of Nigerian movies too, a lot of foreign movies. Uh, I have a lot of actors in the Asian community, in the American community, in Hollywood, even in Bollywood once in a while. But I love a lot of actors too in Nigeria. Whenever they do good films, I love them. I appreciate them. I admire them. But to say I'm following them, it means I must have been following them on either Instagram or Twitter or whatever. I only I only appreciate few people among. I appreciate all of them, but I admire a little bit of few people out of all these people. People that I can give my admiration to. But I don't think, in my own view, that's the way I view. I don't think any man should follow another man. You can learn from other people, but to be following them means you're putting money in their pocket. So if someone told me now that they also learn from all these people, fine. But to be following them means you have subject yourself, you have they've ensnared your mind, captivated you by their horror or by their professionalism or by their talents or whatever. I don't do following. I only appreciate. I watch Daddy Freeze too a lot. There was a time I stopped watching him, but you know, but later I started watching him again. I was one of his subscriber online before, but I stopped. But daily, I'm a subscriber to Daily Pharaoh TV. I like someone who is mature, who is talented, who is intelligent. And the phrase is also talented. He's intelligent. Fortunately, we are even from the same state. He's from Ibadan. I'm also from Ibadan, but I can't say I follow people like that. I believe I can learn from other people. If the ones that come before, that came here before me, or the one that came after me. I follow other people too in different, like Tayo I know, Steve Induku. There are many people I watch their show on YouTube.
When you get inspired.
So I cannot really say I follow them or I'm their fans. I only appreciate them. I watch a lot of their stuff and I learn from it. So that is that. I don't do follow. So
That is
the
in another terms. When you
so
said you don't follow.
the fourth question is, at this time of the year in Nigeria, top news circulating our domain are about the three musketeers. I'm the one that call them the three musketeers. So who people refer to as the presidential aspirants of the APC, PDP, and the Labour Party respectively. And who? So the question is, the three musketeers. Who is your preferred candidate and why? out of the three top presidential candidates running the race for 2023, who is your preferred candidate and why? That's a tough one. Don't
Well,
worry, they can't
it's
come
not
and
a
arrest
tough
you.
one. Well, that's a tough one, but
Mm,
not really a tough one.
okay.
But my preferred candidate,
Mm,
it can't just continue like this.
mm.
My preferred candidate is the candidate of the Labour Party, which is Peter Obi. That is my preferred candidate. The man and his deputy, that's the vice, are intelligent, and the reason why he's my preferred candidate is we just hope for a new Nigeria. I hope for a new Nigeria, and I don't think any of these past governments the candidates of APC and PDP. I don't think any of them can give us new Nigeria. I hope and I hope and I wish that Peter Obi will be able to take us to a new level. Peter Obi and his vice will take us to a new level in this country. So that is why, just as we were clamoring for change then in the case of Buhari, we only hope, we thought Buhari is going to do something great that is going to change the country, but we were wrong anyway. But for this coming election, I hope and I wish, because I don't want to say I pray because we've been praying in this country anyway, but I hope that this Peter Obi, the president, the aspirant of the Labour Party, and his vice, is going to change this country and move this country forward. So those are my preferred candidates.
Okay, that is your preferred candidate, Peter Obi and Baba Ahmed Dati. Yeah, in my own view, politicians.
You can't trust them. Is that what you want to say?
Anyway, I have two preferred candidates. I only mentioned these three to her, but I was thinking that she was going to come up with something reasonable. But that's my own perspective anyway. I have two candidates, and my two preferred candidates, my candidate number one remains Showore. Any day, any time.
Hmm.
I prefer a young candidate that is agile, that is exposed. I I still believe that anybody who have ruled in Nigeria before haven't done anything. Peter Obi or nobody. Uh, a lot of people will say Bola Ahmed Tinubu is corrupt. Atiku, which is the presidential aspirant for PDP, is corrupt. And a lot of people will run after Peter Obi. Yes. Jennifer to me says something that even in the coven, in their so-called coven of witches, because Igbo have been marginalized for so long, they've been disenfranchised. That is the main reason why he's supporting Peter Obi. That even if he is to pick among the devils, he'll pick the lesser devil. And in my own view, Showore happens to be my number one candidate. Then if I am now to probably, you know, sorry, if I'm to probably now choose uh, between the three musketeers that I mentioned, if that those are the choices that were laid in front of me, I would rather choose Peter Obi, yeah. Because among them, uh, it's still a bit
The
okay.
lesser.
I don't want to don't don't put word in my mouth. Let me speak. I would rather preferred a lesser, a person that can still vouch or can still boast that okay, if you want to do anything, go and verify. I prefer Showore any day, anytime. Why I don't really, I'm not into Peter Obi too much is that the presidency is not just always all about the candidate who is coming to rule. Even people who say Igbos have been marginalized for long, check them well. Most of the time when Peter Obi came out, there was a time the same Igbo tribe, who I believe doesn't even like each other, almost turned Peter Obi's movement into tribal movement. And then the same way Fulani are misbehaving all around now. And Nigeria is still, in my own view, I see people might hate me for this, but I believe everybody should go their separate way. But even if we are to probably come together, which I believe should not be forced, I don't think we are mature enough to see ourselves, firstly as human beings, and secondly as Nigerians. You will see this one will say always say tribe. We see a lot of Fulanis who started misbehaving during this time. Some of them will be arrested. You will hear they will say others from abroad ask the police to release them. And just because they have the man in the presidency is from their side, is from their tribe, people misbehave. I don't want a situation whereby another person will come and some people will go haywire and begin to misbehave around. But if we are to probably look at their manifesto and what they are all saying in the real sense of it, I think it's just that talk is cheap. I've seen a lot of people talk, and sometimes talk, I believe talk is cheap. But obviously have the best. If he will follow through in everything he has said, all his promises, he still has the best agenda among the three musketeers. But if they put them down, Peter Obi and Showore will always choose Showore. Showore is young, is exposed, is more vibrant than any other candidate I've seen in Nigeria. And the fact that it won't be business as usual for every corrupt politicians or political jobbers in this country, if Showore should assume office, it will give me rest of mind. And the fact that police can't just be misbehaving all around, we'll have a president who can address every of our issues if given the opportunity. But maybe for now, like people say, if I'm to cast my vote today, and even in my dream, I'll cast it for Showore. If they are not like in the university, if you are asked to choose your first choice, my first choice will be Showore, while my second will be Peter Obi. But apart from that, I don't think I see any other candidate. Every one of them. And why I didn't really choose Peter Obi wasn't because I hate the Igbo. In fact, most of them, if there are people that I have as friends the most these days, they are Igbos. And I don't do discrimination. I don't do tribalism. That's not me. I don't even judge people based on people. Everybody around me knows. I relate with human being based on their characters and their attitude. I don't do this one is from people. But these are things we cannot alienate in our midst. We see it happen. We see people turn a cause into tribal issues and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa attack themselves on Facebook just because Peter Obi is running. And if we are to go by the standard of what the world should be, everybody who have ever run in office in this country had failed woefully. And I have a reason for saying that. I watched one of the interview of this guy. What's this man? 70 years old man. Tokubo Asari.
Asari.
Asari Tokubo. So during the interview, he said when Dubai was in trouble, all it takes, all they needed was like was it not 24 billion dollars to turn Dubai to what it is now. And they borrowed it from maybe World Bank or America. I've forgotten in his interview. And Dubai is what it is now. And there was a time, according to him, he said even the state governor of Rivers State, Amici, was earning like a $3 billion annually that it was, you know, being given from the federal government to a state. And he ruled the state for 8 years, which means what the money Dubai had to build Dubai to what it is right now was what Amenchi controlled for 8 years. And I'm not sure, I've never been to Rivers anyway, but if there is something very, proud or something good to write home about, I'm sure it will be floating on the internet. The new they will not even allow us to. News they will even the money they pay sometimes to cover all these little project they do is even far, sometimes times 10 of the money they spend on the project. So at every point in time, each governors in this state, not just the presidency. So when people say we have a corrupt president, I used to laugh at people and say even the governors, each governors are much more corrupt than any president that ever had in this country. And statistics will prove it. Go check how much each state are generating internally. Like Lagos, let's not even go into Lagos. How much they are generating internally, not to talk of what is coming from the federal location. So if we have Peter Obi, who had by chance inconsistently ruled the state of Anambra for almost 8 years. At the time he was ruling, he was impeached, he came back and stuff like that. And Anambra is not something close to Dubai or something very fantastic, a bit unique among all the states. Then there should be question on what he was doing with whatever they were generating from the state and whatever allocation or whatever money he was receiving from the federal then. If they have the best road in Nigeria, if they have the best schools in Nigeria, if there is one particular hospital that match up with the standard of where they are all rushing to in UK, in US, in Canada, India, in Germany, and if there is one specific project that happens to be a problem that he actually dealt with, then I could have said maybe he's a different breed. But the only thing he can boast of now is the fact that he never stole, he invested for the state, he left money in the state treasury while he was leaving the state as the state governor and stuff like that. And he always point people to go and verify. Uh-huh. If apart from that, we know that the other two, Mr. Emilio Khan and Mr. Amari, all the tribe in Nigeria. And those ones are nothing to write home about. But well, we are still going to get to the question because I know Nigerians will still vote for the people who have actually come to this earth to give them suffering. So not to dwell much on that, that's my verdict about uh, uh, my preferred candidate, Showore, number one. So if Showore is not being given the chance, then maybe Peter Obi, which is my second choice. Peter Obi will always be my second choice.
Mhm.
Uh,
You said the three musketeers. But when if we mention three musketeers contesting in this country, we're going to mention Emiloko, that's Tinubu, PDP, that's Atiku, and Peter Obi.
well, that's what I mentioned to you. I mentioned the three musketeers. If you have a, what's it called? If you know that the three musketeers are not, or there is one that you want to substitute, you should have mentioned it, but that time has gone. Let's move to another question. I am sure you have heard this narrative severally, where people often say that the British and America helped to destroy our country. Do you believe in that narrative? If yes, can you explain in your own perspective why you believe it? And if no, what are your reason or reasons for disputing such narrative?
I don't believe in that narrative.
Okay.
I don't.
Now, why don't you
You
believe in it?
said British and American. Are those British our leaders? Are they the one ruling us now? Are they the one constituting nuisance on the street, doing internet frauding, as in internet fraud, prostituting around? They are not the one ruling us now. They are not the one embezzling our money. So they are not here. Okay, if we say they are the one that, as in um did this to us, wow, when they left, when you look at the past, the way Nigeria was in the past is better, as it was better than what we have now. So I don't believe they are the one. I don't believe.
Okay, if that is your verdict, my own verdict is this. I've heard the narrative over and over again. A lot of people have come out to say all sorts of things concerning this. You will see the likes of uh, Cheon Kuti, who champion all this cause Africanism, Pan-Africanism, Pan-Africanism. Whenever I watch Cheon Kuti too. Whenever I watch any narratives, any uh, I watch people's perspective about this kind of narrative, what they have to say, especially when it comes to thinking that the British and the American destroyed. Um, Let me come. This is my own opinion. At first, I believed that when they were here, they were setting the ground for themselves in order to take over our national wealth. I can only blame them for the time and for the things they have done in the past. But the moment we received sovereignty, we got our independence, and we still have people who still believe that the American and the British are still in control. I find such people to be, pardon my word, foolish. Nigerians have been ruling us since 1960. The British have left. Some people will say, oh, the Hausas are stupid. If you see the way they embezzle money, you will know they are not stupid. It's because they were the stupid one. That was why they gave them. No, it wasn't because they were the stupid one. It's because they were the majority. They might not have too much of enlightened people in their midst, but at least they have enlightened people. Many of them too. When you listen to Lamido Sanusi Lamido speak, you will know that Hausas are not daft. When you watch Kwankwaso speak, you know Hausa are not daft. Even if you watch Atiku, the only person that I cannot ask you to watch is the one we pray that will leave the city on this year, May 29. Because whenever they are asking that one what he hates, he might be talking about the type of toilet roll he used in wiping his butt. So it's a very false narrative. Yeah, because if they are like if they are the one who gave us liberation, they I would believe that they have even done a lot of good to us than bad. Today, no Nigerian will be able to use a mobile phone without the help of the Americans, even Chinese. Nobody will be able to. Our form of education, yeah, even if we are not that educated in the Western system, we will still be educated in some way, but it might be different. But I believe that most of the good things that we even have in our midst today, cars, television, internet, even education, no matter how porous or bad it might be, I believe they give it to us. Enlightenment, even constitution, they gave it to us. And no matter how bad our constitution is, if everybody still follow what the constitution says, Nigeria will not be this bad. And it is not the whites who ask people to be giving birth to numbers of children they could not take care of. It is not the whites who who will indulge us into stupidity whereby we follow people blindly without purpose. And if they say they are bad, I don't think they are bad. Everybody is either bad if you are judging the British and American by saying that they are selfish. They install the companies like Shell and stuff like that here and they are embezzling money. It is your government that allows them. If your government say if any a new body, that's why I prefer Showore to be. If someone who is intelligent, very intelligent, highly intellectual person comes in now, all these things will stop. A whole lot of contract will be revoked, and what ought to belong to Nigeria will stay in Nigeria. But some the people who you elect chose to sell you out for cheap. just for their own personal gain, for the houses they will give them over there, and for the fact that they will, whatever money they stole here, they will help them keep it in UK and whatever. Abacha did his own. We all know how it all happened. Then you now want to blame. These are countries that are looking for the welfare of their own citizens. So whenever they are here, we allow them here, and you will not even blame. We are stupid. So even if they are taking advantage of us, that means we are utterly stupid. If you watch the series Ajoche, you will see Obas selling their own people for the sake of mirror. In the past,
Ignorance.
people are so stupid, so ignorant. Africans, especially Africans, have never really forget about the fact that people come and say Americans are bad and the British are bad. They treat you anyhow. Stay in your country, fix it. Stay in your country and fix it. If you say they are bad, why would you even say some people are bad? I can say they are bad now if they have come here to probably, wage war against us, to take advantage of, to plunge us of all our belongings. But these are people who their being here at a point in time is what even gave us a glimpse of this little civilization we have today. If you look at the way our people behave towards each other, you will know we are, I might want to say, even below animal level somehow. Below animal level. We don't think. We have a president who still allow some other country to plunge us, and you are saying it is their fault. How would you blame the British? Whatever money they take from here, they take it to their country to build their country. Switzerland doesn't have any natural resources as far as I'm researched, but they have the best banking system in the country. Whatever money that is being stolen in every other country, they deposit it in Switzerland. And what do? They use it to build their own citizen. They loan them this money. They it brings success to the people. So if you are so stupid to open the gate of your house down for other people to come and plunge it, do not blame the people who are plunging you. Blame your leaders who are not providing enough security. They do not even provide physical security, not to talk of securing your source of wealth. So when you say the British have plunged us, I see people like Sheon comes out to say I'm a Pan-African. We have a lot of idiots in Nigeria who doesn't even know their left from their right, who are just followers of anybody. Even our political jobbers or the politicians or all those palm sec or go to every ministry, the corruptions everywhere. People who don't even think, even when they steal this money, they don't invest it back in. I was telling a friend this afternoon, I said, even if they stole this money and they invest it back here, then I will understand. They will take this money, take it to
Take
their
it to
country.
another country.
And then you will now come and say, someone is bad. I'm a family man, I'm married, and we have two children. When I chose to probably stay at two, my mother was like, okay, we should do one. Will you be the one to pay the school fees? She made this adage in Yoruba in Tomama which may translate to whatever the child is going to be fed on, or is going to feed on, or whatever thing the child will need in life to succeed in life must have come, he or she must have brought it from heaven. I say, who says who? If you allow people push you like idiots, like zombies, that is your fault. And when you see all these people who say Pan-Africanism and who shout the whites I don't see anybody being destroyed by the white. In fact, without the white, there is no possibility of me doing this video tonight. If you read Animal Farms, all these things will be obvious to you. People should learn how to read. They have vast knowledge in their country which we can tap from. Even if we are going to sell ourselves cheap to them, we could as well be tapping brains from them. And judging by what we have in the past, what the British did while they were here, Nigeria was far, far better. In the early 70s, whereby you need like £1 and some penny to change to £1, and you need like $2 to change to £1. See what the exchange rate is now. We are not exporting anything. I remember one of the show when Slaverbed was given Sanusi Lamido Sanusi award in 2000 maybe 2011, if I'm not mistaken. He said something. He said Nigeria is the highest cassava producing nation in the world, yet we import starch. If Nigerians still import toothpick, I don't know for now, maybe we are not producing toothpick. We are not exporting anything. The only things we export is what maybe Obasanjo export, because some of my friends in Texas said they used to eat Obasanjo chicken. In some part of Texas, Houston to be precise. You know, maybe a bit of farm produce. But we don't export any natural, we don't export even our natural resources. We export it to refine over there to bring back the finished product here. So what are we exporting? If we do not have any natural resources, that means Nigeria will not be exporting. If our lands is not are not good for agricultural production, we will not be exporting anything. And we don't export brains. Most of our people who travel over there have to develop themselves before they are now recognized as a good brain. When people say Nigerians are brilliant, Nigerians are brilliant how? People who fool each other. Brilliant where? Where is the brilliance in this country? It's only when people travel abroad and they were given quality education, beautiful opportunities, that's when that brilliancy comes out. So, but if you are here, even if you are brilliant a little bit, the government of the day have already, you see, it's like the country was set up for people to fail. That's why when you see people japa, and some people will say japada, I think they must be crazy. And I'm of the opinion that it's better you go and suffer somewhere else than to be here and be suffering. To be here and be suffering. So I don't believe those people have done anything bad or something that we cannot have predicted. They are looking for they are looking for the development of their country. Whatever money they pump out of, or they extort from here, or they wimped out from here, they use it to develop their own country. So when you sit down and say America and our problem, how did they become your problem? Are they the one who voted Buhari in? Are they the one who gave you Sanwo-Olu and Tinubu, who perhaps who ordered the army people to go and kill the citizens at Lekki toll gate? Are they the one who sent the armies in? When a policeman misfire and kill innocent people here, are they the judge who will tell you not to know? Are they the judge who just, decide and preside upon cases like that to be swept under the carpet? We need to look within and look into our problem. In fact, I would rather believe that we should be copying from them. Because if we copy from them, even let's just assume that you are in a class with a brilliant guy. If you are given an exam and you are privileged to be sitting beside a brilliant guy, if you don't know the answer, copy what the person that knows the answer is writing. You don't know the way, copy the people who know the way, and stop pointing fingers at people who are the best of the best road we have in this country are built by the British. Other ones are just quack. And yet you come and say, most of the best planning we have in this country, the universities or whatever, they built it for us. Who are the people who wants to build it? After they've left, tell me how many schools have been built, apart from private school, when people embezzle money from religious setting, from political setting, and they start building private school, that even the people whom they claim they were doing it for will not be able to afford it. So that's just my opinion. I don't believe in such stupid narrative that the British are the one who put us in this mess. We put ourselves in this mess. When you see all those political criminals conducting rally around the country, and you see crowd following them, hailing them. One useless guy came here to install our prepaid meter few months ago. If you see what he was hauling out from his thinking mouth, you will know that Nigerians are the problem of Nigerians. It is never the British or the Americans. So before I go, because I'm becoming emotional. I just ate some things some people used to say. So
Mm.
let's go into the next question. Recently, which is this one is very beautiful, is what is happening in the moment. Recently, the CBN governor, Godwin Emefiele, what do they call the man's name?
Let me feel it.
He insists that Nigerians must deposit all their old naira notes to withdraw the new ones, which are obviously not in circulation in quantity that it should be. Firstly, what do you think of this newly produced legal tender? And in your view, what do you think why do you think the CBN creates new notes? And how do you think Nigeria will survive these coming weeks? Because some people believe the current government is deliberately strangulating Nigerians for whatever reason best known to them. So these are three questions in one. Um, they produce new notes we have not seen. And you can testify to it. You've been to
Yes.
banks severally. No
Yes.
bank is dispensing new notes. Even as we speak, we don't have any
We don't.
cash at hand.
Yes.
How we are going to survive this coming week, even me, I don't know.
Hmm.
And if you want to buy pepper, buy Maggi, buy sugar, I don't know whether we are going to start
We
transferring
can't
money to
transfer to them.
everybody. And so that's the first question is, what do you think of this newly produced legal tender? Do you think it makes sense? What do you think of the newly produced? Then two, do you think, and in your view, why do you think the CBN create new news? If you have heard any news, I want you to share your opinion here. And how do you think Nigeria will survive these coming weeks? Because people are beginning to say that the government is deliberately strangulating
Yes,
Nigeria.
it's like
So
putting um this new note, the creation of this new note, in fact, um is is not something I really that I'm really in support with. It's like creating a problem for Nigerians because even when I heard the news about the new note, in fact, many Nigerians were saying, this is another problem. We have so many things in Nigeria, we have so many problems, so many issues already. Why can't we face that? Why do you want to create another problem? Now, people will start queuing in the bank, and it will be this thing is going to be an issue. That was when the information first came out, the news first came out. That was what people were saying, and that is exactly what we are facing now. When I even went to the bank, no machine was dispensing money. If you enter the bank, if you want to withdraw inside the banks are even giving us the old notes. I even thought maybe the bank would be wise enough to even dispense 100 naira notes, which is the one that is legal tender that we can spend, to give us hundred naira and maybe 50 naira as in the lower um, currency that we can spend. But they are given 200, 500, and 1,000, and they still expect us to return this money before 31st. I think this is really giving as in like Nigeria's problem and struggles. So I don't think the reason what you asked when you said why do I think the CBN did this, you've already answered that in the question. I can't really say this is the reason. It is they did that. They have with a reason best known to them, because we can't give them reason. If they come up to us that this is the reason why we are doing it, that is what they are telling us, that is what they want us to hear. But there is a reason best known to them. And let me tell you, these things, as in this thing they did, is affecting us. And I'm sure it will not affect them. I'm sure it will not affect them, but they are making this thing to affect, as in this, it's really affecting us. So, and it's a real problem that we are facing. A real problem. Now, one, I spoke with my brother today. He said in his I think in his working place, the machine, some of the machines are dispensing 100 naira notes. But I am sure, I know, and he said the problem is the money are not even good, which means the machine is going to jam. Some you might even want to collect money, maybe want to withdraw money. If the machine jam, you won't be able to have the money. So I'm sure that is even a problem, is an issue, is an issue already. He was even complaining that he doesn't even know how he's going to do it this week. Already he has packed all his money, as in the 500, 200 and 1,000. He has already deposited everything. But now he doesn't even have cash at hand. We are still waiting till maybe 30, on the first. Maybe we'll go to bank to withdraw the new note, which we don't even know if it will be available, because when I went to the bank last week, I I was able to, as in, interview one cashier. I asked her when they are going to be dispensing, I mean, giving us this new notes, because they were giving the old notes. I asked, she said they don't even know. Maybe, she said maybe next month, because they don't have it yet. That is in the bank. So I don't know when we are going to have this.
If I look at this question, it baffles me as well. At first, I think I asked her, "What do you think of the new?" Even what I think, what do I think? I think nothing. I just discovered that we it's like a curse to Nigeria, and unfortunately, this curse will never leave. One of the things that Dele Farotimi said in some of his interviews is that if the likes of Emilio Kan or Etiku uh, were to be privileged to win the presidential election, he will leave Nigeria for good.
Hmm.
And a lot of people were like, maybe he was scared of Tinubu because he had, spoken out against all the rot that came from Tinubu's administration. But he said that wasn't the case. That why he's leaving is for him to look at the way the country is, and for anybody, because this election, coming election, is supposed to dictate how many sane people that are still remaining in the country. And he said for some people to still wake up to vote for any of those previous two cretin headed parties, it means that if they are being voted for and they won, it means that Nigerians have lost hope. Maybe the rest of the people who are here are completely insane. Insanity, though we know insanity is the order of the day in Nigeria, because when there are some things you look at, I'm sure a lot of people in the developed country will look at, even Nigerians in diaspora, whenever they look at some things, they begin to wonder that are people still normal? People in this country, especially Lagos, there are people who needs to be going to Yaba left every day to take uh, a madness injection, or injection against a madness, maybe, however I want to put it. And secondly, so I can't really say this is the main reason why they, but obviously within these few days in the domain we've been is reading news that Mr. Emilio Khan said they were trying to sabotage his presidential ambition, that the whole thing is tailored towards him. And I'm still wondering why the whole country have to suffer just because they want to punish one
That's
presidential aspirant. If that is true, I don't know. If that is not, so I can't really say this is the main reason why they are changing the notes for now. Uh, Maybe the color on the previous note is too much. I know a little bit about printing, so the former notes have four colors, and this new note is just one color. And if what we are reading on online and hearing from news are to be old with a pinch of salt, uh, they said they have spent 860 something billion
billion. Hmm.
naira to produce this new note. And as at that time that they were doing all that, students were still at home, they were on strike, and then things were the way it was. But to answer the question, I don't know why they produce it. And concerning the question I also asked, how will Nigerians survive within these coming days? Obviously, I don't know either. How we are going to survive, if we are going to ever survive, I don't know. Uh, then what's the third question? I think that should be all. People believe that they are strangulating. They will strangulate you. Uh, I remember in 2019 during the election, I was still working for someone then at Gagada. So I was going out and I saw a lot of people left their home very early. Despite the fact that the first 4 years of this APC government, 2015 to 19, was the most, let me say, the meanest period that Nigerians ever went through. When I was going out that very morning, I didn't drive that day, so I boarded a public bus. I overheard a lot of people saying that it is APC they want to go and vote for, APC they want to go and vote for, and I kept quiet. Well, fortunately for me, well, it's still a bit unfortunate because I live here. Though I don't work here and I don't earn money from any Nigerian company, I can boastfully say that anyway. But I'm one of the people who bring forex to this country. Whatever, whatever job I do it for a foreign country, foreign people living in foreign country, or for Nigerians who lives in foreign country, and I earn my money through foreign. I earn money in dollars, and I can confidently tell you that ìyà ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni ẹ̀ tí ì rí nǹkan kan. That's all I can say.